I'm Lucid Fiasco, and welcome to Titanfall 2 Tips and Tricks.
The Cold War, a mystery wrapped in an enigma. What is this thing? Why do some call it the worst gun in the game, while others worship at its chilly altar? Let's find out, together. It's time to unlock the secrets of the Cold War. First, some basics. The Cold War is a projectile weapon, which means that it has travel time. This is very evident as shots slowly loop out like they're fired from some kind of high-tech rubber band technology. Luckily, these projectiles do manage to pack a punch, but only if you're able to combine the splash damage from multiple balls. Direct impact is not the best route here. You need to use the splash damage to get one-hit kills on enemy pilots. For this reason, you generally want to be above your targets, where it's easier to cluster your burst into a concentrated area. Learn how to use wall running and map awareness to constantly fire down upon your prey. You don't really want to be at the same elevation as your targets, but if you are on the ground, you can aim at walls or other objects near enemies to achieve splash damage. Even with the super splashy damage, the Cold War still isn't a guaranteed one burst kill, and the fire rate puts you at a huge risk if you have to fire twice. For this reason, I suggest using amped weapons with this gun. Not only does this make it much easier to get a one burst kill on pilots, but it makes your weapon more effective against Titans as well. I like to start out my games using the Cold War to focus on grunts, where it really excels, and build up my Titan counter to get amped weapons. Then, once I get amped weapons, I can switch my focus to enemy pilots and unleash my balls of fury. For attachments, I use speed loader and extra ammo. The reload time is crazy long, and I feel like I need 4 bursts per magazine to be effective. For my tactical, I use phase shift as I do with most slow reloading weapons. I use phase shift to reload in tricky situations or simply to get out of trouble. For a sidearm choice, you do have some options. If you want, you can use the Cold War against Titans, but it doesn't do much damage unless it's amped, and having to constantly reload is a hassle. If you're facing a Titan-savvy team, go ahead and run an anti-Titan weapon. But if you are confident in your ability to use rodeos, grenades, and your Cold War to take out enemy Titans, feel free to use a pistol. This can be extremely helpful when your Cold War just barely doesn't kill an enemy pilot and you need to get that last little bit of damage. So to sum up the Cold War, it truly is a grenadier weapon. You want to fire this gun from above and around enemies, using angles that put you at an advantage. The looping projectile path and splash damage of the Cold War allow it to do things like shoot over cover or around corners, which other guns in the game simply can't do. You don't always need to see the enemy precisely with this gun. Get an idea of where they are and fire away. If you get hit markers, just keep pulling the trigger. Remember, if it takes you a few games or even longer to get the hang of this weapon, don't worry, that's totally normal. It's a weird gun. Learning to aim at your enemy's feet instead of at their head takes some time to get used to, but it can definitely be worth it. Just be careful not to get in the path of your own destruction. So that wraps up this episode on the Cold War, a very unique gun that is wildly fun to use. One final tip, I find that this gun is best enjoyed in game modes with grunts, as it truly specializes in that area. It can be used in pilot-only game modes, but that negates a big portion of the weapon's main purpose, which is large area of effect damage against multiple targets. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing or check out my channel for more Titanfall goodness. As always, feel free to comment with suggestions for future content or just anything in general. Have a good one, pilots.